everybody, my name is Christine. Welcome to this corner of the internet where I post all about the things that I'm knitting and I'm crocheting. You guys, this is podcast number 19. I don't want to forget, 19. Can you believe so many episodes? It's been so long. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. I'm Christine. I'm coming from Chisinau, Moldova in Eastern Europe. And in this episode, I want to show you all the things that I've managed to finish or to work on in the month of May. Sorry, I'm checking my notes. Yeah, May. Okay. I'm a little bit all over the place because it's Sunday, it's my day off. I've been so relaxed and doing nothing all day, so it takes me a while to organize my thoughts and my notes. I'm gonna look in this direction. These are my notes. Over here is my yarn collection. So let's jump in. In the last video, I was wearing one of the finished objects, but today I'm wearing a completely boxy cotton creation. I had this cotton in my collection. It is from a Romanian producer. Hold on, I still have some others. Oh no, this one doesn't have. It is from this producer, Filanina. So I had 3 such skeins laying around, and I think in December I was feeling the desire to work on some cotton yarn, so I did. I made this completely boxy creation, so now I get to wear it as if I just went shopping. So it's very light, it's easy to wear, and thank God, because Chisinau has like a heat wave. You know, summer is here, no more spring, no more nothing. Summer, real summer is here. And looking at the calendar, it's already June, so summer is really here. Okay, finished objects. In the last video, I was wearing the finished object, and let's start with that. Okay, I have here the Daisy Lane top. I used for this the Daisy Lane pattern from Drops Design. I used acrylic yarn. It was a remake of another top that I finished last year. I will not speak more about it because I made a whole video on how I unraveled the original top and how I made this sweater, because I decided to make it as a sweater because this is Aran weight. It's quite thick, so it didn't make sense to make a like sleeveless top anymore because it was way too hot when I was wearing it, and it was acrylic yarn. So I decided to make it a sweater, and this is what I have as a result. And I am trying not to buy yarn, but for this I had to buy this plummy color so that I can finish the sleeves and the waist ribbing and to make the stripes. So I had to buy a skein of yarn, but I've already used it. Okay, so this is my Daisy Lane. I used, all in total this weighs 450 grams, but I used only 223 grams of yarn from my yarn collection. Everything else was just reusing the original version. By the way, I'm watching Passionate Kelsey from Passionate Knits, yeah, the crochet channel, and she is making a challenge of creating pieces that follow the rainbow color. So I'm remaking my old pieces, and I was looking at 2 other pieces that I want to remake. So I have this blue raglan, and I have this pinkish I want to say slipover or raglan. And now Kelsey is making a challenge of making the reversed rainbow, and I was thinking I could make a reverse rainbow series with all the remakes, because I have the purple, my next one will be this blue, and then the pink, and then I have like a yellow. The only thing I don't have is a green piece, which I'm trying to remake to fit me better, but I can still do it. Well, another idea for even more things to do. So for now, my first finished object is this Daisy Lane sweater, which turned out to be a really, really cool sweater. The next finished object is a pair of socks. These are short socks. I followed the vanilla pattern from the Crazy Sock Lady. Nothing special. I did the ribbing, and I continued the ribbing on the top and on the bottom I did simple stockinette. So you guys, I used 1.5 millimeter needles for this, and the yarn was Alize Artisan. This is the yarn, and this is the result. And I've only used 45 grams because, as you can see, I made the short cuffs. I really liked it, and this is the 9th pairs of socks of 2024. Last year I finished, I think, 11 pairs or 15 pairs. I don't know. I have to check my notes and I'll put here the concrete number. But for 2024, this is my 9th pair. I can barely believe it. I have like so many colorful socks. It's amazing. I love them. They bring me a lot of joy. Okay, the next finished object is, I had some glow-in-the-dark yarn and I decided to crochet around the cat collar. And I finished one. I'll put here the video for my cat Nadezhda, and with the remaining yarn I did some single crochet on this cat collar for my cat Nikita, and with the remaining yarn I just made this cable, and I don't know what to do yet. I sometimes put it around my hand like this to charge it, because in order to glow in the dark you need to keep it in the sun. So these days, whenever I would walk my dog, I would just put it on my wrist to charge it. But maybe I was thinking to gift it to one of my neighbors who also has a dog bigger than my own, and she also has a problem seeing the dog from far away. So maybe if I see her, I will gift it. If not, I will keep it for me and my dog for glow in the dark. And it does glow only if it's completely dark. I tried to film it, but the camera, my phone doesn't capture it. And this, all these glow in the dark accessories for my cats and my dog, I used 32 grams. You guys, and now I'm going to the finished object of the month, my favorite thing to work on for a few weeks. You guys, I finished the chevron blanket. Ta-da! Oh, I'm so happy. I don't know how to show it to you. Yes, this is the finished corner, and as you can see, I crocheted some lines on top of the existing border, and I made a border. So the border is with green lines, and I completed the whole thing with a light blue. There she is. Ta-da! Ta-da! Ta-da-da! It is quite heavy. Oh, just cover me in it. It is quite heavy. It is very beautiful. And I have some regrets, you know, of course. My regrets are that at some point I finished the yarn that I had and I added DK weight yarn, which is heavier and it looks a bit weird. I added this yellow mustardy. I kind of regret adding it, but also in the grand schemes of things, it doesn't matter that much. It looks really good as a blanket. And the final measurements are 205 centimeters by 125 or 26. It depends, because it kind of stretches both in length and in height. Wait, length and in width? You know what I mean. So it's stretchy like this and like this, so it will cover the entire bed for my brother, which is wonderful because this is what I wanted. I wanted to make a blanket for him which covers the entire bed with a lot of gives and with the colors green, blue, and gray. So as you know, I was running out of yarn. And I kind of regret spreading the word to my mom and to my brother that I'm running out of yarn. And as a consequence, my brother bought 4 skeins of yarn when he was visiting me in Chisinau. And I used almost all of them. Hold on. Yes, this is the... hold on, I already forgot. Yeah, this color was from my brother. This color, this color, this color. So 4 colors were from... I actually finished the blanket with this, and I used the remaining yarn to make this border. So this green was also purchased for from my brother, and I kind of regret because I have some left over, and my mom wanted to help me out and she gave me a bunch of yarn, reclaimed yarn. So let's enjoy this, then I'll think about the problems. I'll think about the issues that more yarn brought to me. Yay! I want to add like felicidade, you know, congratulations to me. And I have to be honest, after I finished this blanket, I laid out on my couch, and for like 2 hours, all I could do was just like touch it and scroll on my phone. It was such a feeling of, not relief, because I really enjoyed crocheting, but it was such a feeling of dopamine, of accomplishment. I love it and I recommend it to everybody. If you want to have a sense of dopamine, of satisfaction, of accomplishment, try and crochet something. It doesn't have to be a blanket, but to do a crochet project. It reminded me once again why I love and I enjoy crocheting so much. Okay, so my chevron crochet blanket is finished. I followed the Bag O' Day crochet pattern. It is a free tutorial on her channel, and I used my, hold on, where's my crochet hook? I used the only crochet hook that I have, which now it's not in my site. There it is. There it is, I found it. This is my crochet hook. I have this for years. I don't know what size it is, but I use it for all my projects, my crochet projects thus far. So this chevron blanket weighs as a finished object 2002 grams. This is amazing. This is 2 kilograms of just happiness. Okay, now that I finished this blanket, I have to be very honest once again and say that after I finished, for a few days, I couldn't do anything. Like, I was not in the mood to create anything else. Nothing. I thought, let's go back to the knitted blanket because I have another blanket on the way. Let's go back to other projects. Let's cast on something. Nothing. I still had that euphoria for a few days and I didn't want to work on anything. But then, you know, slowly, I remembered that I had other projects also on the way. So let's talk about other whips. It's so funny. In the previous videos, like, there's a lot of interruptions because my dog keep barking, but today my dog is so well behaved, but then me, I'm spread, like I have nothing prepared close to me, so I'm just like have to cut so much. But let's come back to whips. As I was saying, I was not in the mood to crochet or to knit on anything, so I took a break for a few days. I was only knitting the socks, and they're in my purse. But last night I worked on this black slipover. I'm sorry you see all these shiny pieces of yarn. Initially I thought that this is from my cat, but they are not from my cat. These are part of the mohair. And I finished the mohair, so I can't even show it to you. You can watch the shorts. I showed the entire mohair composition. It was a mohair from Alize. This is a widely available brand here in Moldova. Alize mohair. I think it's called 3 Season or Kit Mohair, one of those. So the black slipover. I follow for this the granite stitch pattern, and I just measured it every once in a while and I split for sleeves. I learned how to do the V-neck, and I did the shoulder ribbing as well. The only thing that remains is to weave in the ends, to wash it and to block it so that this doesn't look so stretched. I think I messed up with the neck opening. I should have made it wider, but I don't have experience. This is the first time I am knitting a V-neck with this kind of construction. Usually what I do is I make like a giant hole when I knit up, and then I pick up stitches and I make it a collar in the round. So this type of collar construction where I decreased here to make this V. It's my first try, and if you look very carefully at it, it's not very clean, but we're not going to do that. What we are going to do is just enjoy the bubbly, the fluffiness of this slip over, and I will block it and I'll show it as a finished object in the next month because it's not finished. If after the blocking I will notice that these openings are way too tight, I might have to unravel and re-knit them and do the bind off with another type of bind off. I did the stretchy bind off, they're still quite tight. So for this I'm using the, as I said, Alize Kid Mohair and three balls of yarn that I bought from a lady here in Chisinau. For this, I'm using still the Alize Kid Mohair I was mentioning earlier, and this yarn I got, this is black wool, which I got from a lady, a grandma was selling this, so I purchased about 18 such skeins of yarn. So she promised that it is fine wool from Moscow, and I choose to believe her. Another whip I mentioned are some socks. They are in my purse because I'm only knitting on them when I am at work. Okay, you might remember this pouch from previous videos. I crocheted this to hold my tablet, my iPad, and for some reason I carry everything else except my iPad in this pouch. So I went ahead and I found my purse because I want to show you the fiasco with these socks. So I started these navy socks with the yarn that I purchased from the thrift store and with 1.5mm needles. This is what I had, and I just throw it in the purse because I was on my way to another city 4 hours away, and I said, okay, since I have time in the car, let's knit a little bit. And I made good progress here, but while I was there, obviously I was with other people and I couldn't measure when I can start the decreases. I followed the same pattern, vanilla sock from the Crazy Sock lady, with ribbing on the top and stockinette on the bottom, and I couldn't try it on, so I decided to break the yarn and start the second one. And ever since I did that, like, I feel like these socks are a bit cursed because I've been taking these socks all over the place with me. I took them at the conferences I've been to. I feel like I'm working on them, but this yarn is so thin and the needles are 1.5mm, and I don't know why it takes me much more time. As you can see, I still have enough yarn. I'm sure I'll be able to finish them, but it does take me a while. I don't know how other people knit 2 socks at the same time. For me, it feels like it takes longer. I should have finished that one, and when I finish a sock, I immediately cast on the second so that I follow the same recipe. So I check my notes when I separate it for the cuff, for the heel, when I started the decreases, how many rows between the decreases at the heel and the decreases at the fingers. But now I completely forgot stuff, so every time I have to take another decision, I have to count here, and it's not easy because this is very dark yarn. So lots of complaint to say that my whip, another whip which was in my purse, are these socks, and they currently live in the pouch that I crocheted for my iPad. So I'm not sorry. Now this pouch has a good roll. It keeps this together, and whenever I need to sneak around, I just hold the pouch in my arm and nobody even cares what I have there. Another whip, as I said, after I finished my chevron crochet blanket, I had this like a moment of respiro. I didn't feel like knitting anything, so I said, let me try and crochet something. So last video I showed you that I bought this crochet hook. Hold on, does it show? Yeah, 5.5mm crochet hook, and usually I work with this one. Can somebody tell me what size is the small one? I don't know how to measure them. The big one is 5.5. What size is the small one? Because it doesn't say on it, it says only Tulip and Japan. Hold on. Tulip. Hold on, let me cover my face. Tulip and Japan. I have this, but this is to check the size of the knitting needles. I don't know if this works for crochet hook. No, obviously it doesn't, because you need to measure this. So if you know what size approximately is this, let me know, because I want to check what is my crochet gauge. But as I said, I wasn't in the mood to crochet or to knit, and because I had so much leftover yarn from the one that my mom gave me to put into the blanket, I decided to use this yarn and to start a pillowcase with the same pattern, the chevron crochet. So with the same old dandy crochet, I started 46 centimeters, because I know that one of my brother's pillows is 46 by 36 centimeters. So I'll try to improvise a pillowcase so that I can use some of this reclaimed yarn generously gifted to me by my mom, who, once again, I have to mention, has the patience of a saint and keeps unraveling all sweaters and stuff that we have around the house. So this is how much I have. It's very little progress because I wasn't in the mood. I just soaked in this victory of finishing and having this wonderful chevron blanket. Let's continue. I will include here a short video to show how I'm hiding, in different locations to, first of all, decompress from our activity and to knit a little bit and to just like relax and let the coffee take me away. What other whips? I have other works in progress, but I didn't work on them, so it doesn't make any sense to show it to you. Check back in another video and you will see more. Okay, I spoke about the whips, I spoke about the socks in my purse. Acquisitions, as I said, I purchased a skein of yarn, purple. I will try to insert some pictures or videos here. A purple one from Alize Burkum Classic, and I used it for the Daisy Lane top. I also received as a gift 4 balls of yarn, 4 skeins of yarn from my brother. We purchased it from the thrift store, and I used those for the chevron crochet blanket. And this is what I have left. I have some leftover yarn. I think it's about 30 grams here, or maybe even more. And my mom also gifted me a lot of reclaimed yarn because I kept complaining, oh my god, I'm not sure I'm gonna have yarn. So I did use a lot of the yarn my mom gave me. I had like 4 balls of this light blue, and I used it in the blanket. I put this back. I have some gray, which I used it in the blanket. I have this green gray, a lot of beige. So I had like 10 small balls, which my mom reclaimed from I don't know what. And guess what? I have some yarn left over from the purple, from this. So if you watch the knitting vlog, you will see how many times I have unraveled this sweater. It's insane. I'm ashamed to admit it. All because I was playing yarn chicken and I was afraid I won't have enough yarn. And as a result, I have leftover yarn. But this is just like 10 grams or maybe 8 or something like that. It's quite heavy because it's Aran weight, but it has very little length. So as a result, I have a lot of reclaimed yarn, plus this basket, which my mom purchased from a local artisan. I'm not going to go into detail. I cried about it in the previous video, how expensive it was. But now it's going to hold all my loose, reclaimed, scrappy, leftover yarn. And it's going to go up there on the top of my yarn collection. What else I can speak about? Also, I would like to speak about what I'm reading. I am still reading Sister Carrie by Theodore Dreiser. If you remember from last time, I was complaining about the fact that who connected the pages of this book messed up because they got to page 78 and then they glued the 327, and then like 80 pages are missing. But still, I enjoy the story so very much. The last time I was talking about the fact that Carrie tried her hand in acting. Now I'm even more advanced. I'm at the page 300, and Carrie has went to Canada and now she's in New York. If you read this book, you know what this means for her personal life, but now she is 2 years in living in New York and making a life for herself. Okay, you guys, now it's time to talk about stash busting data. As you know, I mean, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. I'm doing the Stash Bust Spring Challenge, organized or initiated by Nora Knits. She started this challenge as an encouragement for everybody that would like to, you know, work from stash and reduce some of these, you know, leftovers. So I really liked this challenge and I decided to jump in. As a result, I crocheted this, where's the blanket? I crocheted the chevron blanket I showed you earlier. I did the socks, and I started the slip over. And all of these working from stash projects has helped me reduce the total number of my yarn collection. For reference, I'm not trying to reduce completely my yarn collection. I don't see it as a problem. I don't see it as a stash. I see it as a beautiful place where I come and I touch and I play with the colors, with the textures. I love it. And as you can see, it's quite a small one. It doesn't bother me. But you know, it's interesting to keep up, to know what you have and to know what I plan to do. So in the previous video, I was saying that I actually added in my yarn collection and I was at 162 skeins of yarn of 100 gram, 162.8 to be more precise, because I had all this yarn from my mom, from my brother, and the one that I bought, the one skein that I bought for the Daisy Lane. So that's not ideal because I started in April with 160. And then I used so much yarn, and as a result, I had more yarn with 2 skeins of yarn. So now, after the month of May, let's look at everything I knitted, all the yarn I used in May. So the artisan socks weigh 45 grams. The Daisy Lane, I only used 223 grams for that from my yarn collection. Everything else was the existing yarn. For the cat collar, the cat bandana, and the string, I used the 32 grams. And the chevron crochet blanket, for that, I used 2002 grams. All in total, for the month of May, I used 2,302 grams of yarn. This is about 5 pounds, and this is incredible. 2 kilograms. That's how much, I don't know. 2 kilograms. I wish I would have lost 2 kilograms of my own weight, but that's always my commentary. So let's come back to the numbers, 2,302 grams. If we divide it by 100 grams, we have 23 skeins of yarn, right? So as a result, I can say that in May, I used 23 skeins of yarn. So 162 minus 23, we are down to 139 skeins of yarn. They're still here. If you look at it, not much has changed because, as I said, a lot of the yarn, a lot of my yarn collection is actually reclaimed yarn or leftovers or yarn that I find at the thrift store. But hold on, let me see if I can. There it is. Oh yeah, the light is really bad. There it is. 139 skeins, y'all. I have to say that it is my personal pleasure to play with this yarn. I don't intend to donate. I just intend to look at it, crochet with it, knit with it, maybe use it for stuffing. All the small bits that I cut when I weave in the ends, I save them all. That's the correct way. I save them all to use as a stuffing. I'm planning to crochet something for my dog, for my cat, and all these toys can be filled in with the yarn leftover. Okay, I spoke about the stash busting part of my journey. Let's make a short check-in of how my yarn collection looks like on the 1st of June. There you go. In that basket, my cat Nadezhda sleeps. To the left of the basket, I have the sock yarn that is left over from the socks. Here I have the first shelf of mostly wool and a bit of mohair. Here we have the acrylic yarn, and the black one is reserved for the blanket I'm working on. So slowly, the only change is probably here. You see some skeins are missing because I use them, and as an addition, the basket replaced the boxes, so I put all the reclaimed and scrappy yarn in the basket, and in the teddy bear bag I have the black yarn that I purchased, the 18 skeins of yarn. So this is it. Good progress, I would say. Good, slow but good. So 139 skeins, you guys, or 139.78 to be more precise. Let's just have it here as a precise number for future Christine, so that it'll be easier for me to calculate when I get under this number. So that is all for today. I don't know if I spoke about everything. Well, it doesn't matter. If I missed something, I will catch up with you in the next video. Let me know if you watched thus far. If you did, I really appreciate you. Give this video a thumbs up. As you know, every thumbs up equals a free balls of yarn, free skein of yarn from me to you, or from you to me. I don't know how that works, but I know that every thumbs up equals a skein of yarn. So please do comment down below if you've been working on something while watching or listening. This is what I personally do when I want to have like a half an hour of relaxation. I just find a new podcast, or I open an episode from the old playlist of my favorite YouTubers, and I just nod along. So let me know if you did the same, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.